This is our copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Let's drop our silent intro. Need to figure that out. New intro. Jot that down and work on that. Yeah, it's a late one. A little before midnight still. Still the 1st of February. So we're going to bring you some of the latest Bigfoot news online coming into my radar. Interesting day at the shop today. And we'll get into that in a bit here as well. We'll see if we just need one person to come hang out at least. And if not, we're still going to do this. We'll still do it. You know how we roll. I, man. Come on. I. Heads up, my mug should be popping up here soon. There we are. Yes, Sunday night, creeping into midnight in about a half hour. It's 11:27 on the West Coast. And we'll see if anyone's up. If not, hopefully you catch this on the rebound. And yes, we're live in the studio from the lily pad. Live and direct. Yeah, let's see. There's some articles we're going to be checking out. We got one person. Let's see, who do we have? What up, Gerald? My ninja from Midwest Night Watchers. What's going on? There's Blazer stepping in hot. Yeah, we're hanging out late tonight. And yeah, we're departing. We're off. We're on the stream. We'll see where it flows. And PNW Rush, what is up? My brother from up north. Hopefully everyone's nice and warm. Chiro sounds, bless up, Sistren. Much love to you. And King G, your King G. I really liked your panning with Bigfoot. I usually do panning for Bigfoot. So when I'm out in the field, you know, I zoom and pan around and in hopes to capture a Bigfoot. Hopefully Bigfoot will photo bomb our vid or photo bomb your selfie. Fingers crossed. And I believe they have. I think with as much footage as people are taking out there, there's probably some Bigfoots and of course other things, but there's got to be some Bigfoots out there on video we just haven't discovered. What up, Bigfoot Fades? Good show tonight. I was watching it from the shop. I was wrapping things up. I was like, oh yeah, set my notification. And I think you're hotter than Blazer right now with everything you're doing. So much props to you. And having those guests on back to back, keep it rolling. I'm telling you, you got the ball rolling. So at least that's how I see it over here. I'm like, oh man, I'm excited to see who you're gonna have next. And I actually missed one. And I did see the gentleman. I'm not sure about his name. He's definitely old school cat. He's an older gentleman. And it was, I think the interview before obviously this one that you just did. So I'm gonna go back and check that out. And I did see him on Flash of Beauty, so that was super cool. Yeah, when we're gonna have a PNW on. Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, Blazer sharing a link there. Bigfoot Fades. Yeah, go check her out. Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, have PNW, and you're more than welcome whenever here. And Garrow Midwest Night Watchers also is open to have guests on. So PNW Rush, if you want to do the rounds, let us know. Uh, and then today I spoke to one of my ninjas, and I mentioned him a lot here, and I was just trying to how would you say, finalize a date for us to get him on here. And so that got that ball rolling there, and hopefully we'll get some feedback soon. He got back to me. It's just nothing is confirmed yet, but hopefully soon. So excited about that. Let's see. Bigfoot Face says, "Wait, Dorf, I think Tom passed away today." But oh wow! And is that the guest you we're talking about, or another Tom who was supposed to be on next Monday? But I think, oh wow. And if that, yeah, that's sad news. And it's a trip in this Bigfoot world. I'll call it world instead of community. Um, yeah, so many people have passed. It's a trip. And hopefully you get that confirmed. We'll keep prayers up. And even if he did transition, we'll put those prayers out there. Excuse me. We'll put those prayers out there. And I got some coconut water. Finally, it chilled. Had it freezing. But yeah, that is a bummer. Let's see. He's Tom Contrell. Yeah, and was on Flash of Beauty. Yes, I remember that. And that was a far out interview. Very very good interview. Not confirmed, but sounding like it. Yeah, we'll keep those prayers up. And mm, yeah, that's a bummer. Let's see there, Blazer with another link. Oh yeah, Alienate UK. Let's see. Today I was lurking over on his stream today. I think they were talking about mermaids. I seen all you in the chat. I was opening up shop, setting up shop, and today at the shop. So y'all know, some of you may know, and some of you may wonder, like, why the hell we've noticed Dwarf streaming these police pursuits and stuff. And why the hell does he do that? This is like a Bigfoot channel. So growing up out here in LA, Hollywood, uh, it would happen all the time. And where we lived, it was the exit right off 101, Sunset exit. And so there was an exit that would go straight down our street, which was a residential school and a residential street there. Or you could loop around and it spit you onto Sunset Boulevard, or you could make a left and then go up Wilton and end up on Hollywood Boulevard. But anyway, sometimes these speed chases, and they would broadcast them, and sometimes we'd be seeing them live because they would come flying out the freeway and straight down our street, or maybe some other way. Uh, so it was a thing, and then we bring up OJ. We've done that, and so now that I'm back, and so I moved away, went up north, and up north there was a few up there, but not like LA, and so now that I've been back, it's like, oh yeah, sirens and all this stuff going on in speed chase. It's like, oh yeah, I remember those. And I seen it's a thing online. Like there's several local people that uh also stream them. I mentioned Smoke and Scan a lot. He's like the king of it. And I was like, oh yeah, well, if we catch a chase and no one else is, then we'll do it. And there's been a few times we've streamed Smoke and Scans chases because we can't find it. But for the most part, we try to catch them live. And even Midwest Night Watchers has caught some, and he streamed them over there. We've checked them out. And so yeah, that's part of the reason why. But yeah, lurker. I didn't want to jump in the chat and be like, "What's up?" and then have to get back to. I had to open up the store, so I didn't get caught up there. I was being a good boy, but I was supporting, and I hit the. I think I might have to go hit the thumbs up on that, but I usually do. So that yeah, that's why we do that. And then since I've been back, there's been all sort of pew pewings that I've seen, all sorts of stuff. I seen something recently where I had to call the paramedics too. I haven't been able to talk about it. Some things you can't talk about. Some things have been documented. Also, you can't talk about. Anyway, maybe one day. And what's that? What do they call it? The statute of limitation or something like that. How long do you got to wait for certain things to be able to be put out? Uh, Even some Bigfoot investigations I've been on that I have not been able to share because I was told not to. I was like, damn, when can I share that? So with some rad people and maybe one day. But so today, and then so some of the chases we've seen some outside of the shop, outside of the house here. It's constant, and sometimes we get to catch them from the bird's eye view, from the ghetto bird's eye view, the chopper, and that's always fun. So earlier today at the shop, and usually it's pretty. I mean, it depends. Sunday, they're pretty chill in the morning. Sundays, right? Everywhere else, right? Sunday drivers. Ever had that strain? Um, but yeah, this Sunday, and I don't know. This was maybe already past. I'm sure it was past. Maybe the afternoon, midday, and we're gonna pull something up here. Share screen, and actually, there's a few clips of this, but on one of them, I got to do some editing, and we'll eventually share. I was trying to I put together a short, but it wasn't letting me post. I don't know what's up with that. And so here we go. Heads up, Dorf. How is your nephew? He's doing cool. Yeah, let me tell you, he's a little badass. As you could hear him and his friends talking in the video, but yeah, he was good to go. He's good to go. He's super interested in Bigfoot and all that stuff too. And I think that's why he even took the footage and they brought it up to me because we were celebrating his older brother's birthday the other day. Yeah, I had a good time. We're chilling in Pasadena. I like Pasadena. So what's Blazer saying there? Uh and so they told me over dinner there. Yeah, there's Uncle Dwarf. Go tell him what happened. And they're like, yeah, we got footage too. And I was like, oh, all right, this is exciting. So yeah, no, he's doing well. I'm sure he's doing his usual thing. And if anything does pop up, yeah, I will we'll get together as a family and exercise whatever. And as you bring that up, maybe we'll run the clip again in a bit. And I know it's gonna be Monday tomorrow. Some of you may have to go to work. I'm an owl. I stay up, and we haven't really done many of these late streams, but just a heads up, we're gonna be reading some stuff eventually. So we're gonna be chilling here for a bit. And don't worry if you gotta catch us on the rebound. So good night, good evening, good morning, happy rising, and all that good stuff. Buenos dias y buenas noches. Let's see, anything in LA snitches get stitches, says Blazer. Let's see, personal injury, often 2 to 4 years. Property damage, typically 3 to 6 years. Written contracts, generally 4 to 10 years. Oral contracts, usually 2 to 4 years. Debt collection, 3 to 6 years. Juliana McGill, what up? Sup. All right, now we could run this video. So here we go. This is one of 3 clips. So, and let's make this a little smaller. Or do I go back over here? Give me 1 second. I think I gotta do this. We're gonna try and shrink this. There we are. And could we boom. Here we go. So here we are outside the shop, and I just got through having a little break, if you know what I mean. and I started hearing sirens, and I started hearing the ghetto bird, which is our typical, you hear that along with the other birds. And I don't trust pigeons. Never seen a baby pigeon. And starting to see videos of mechanical pigeons flying into windows and stuff like that. Yeah, I think even ducks in ponds. I don't know. Could be surveillance of some sort. And this is what happened. So I started hearing sirens, started hearing the ghetto bird, and I got that sense of something was popping off. And damn it, I can't click play because I gotta get to the window again. Here we go. Might have a chase going on here. There he goes. White Benz. White car.
White Mercedes. The white Mercedes Benz.
Here's bro.
My brother's face. Dipman, always shit going on Dipman too. Popping off. What's up, bro?
The moped gang fixing their
masked up. Part of the moped gang. Yep. See if it's on broadcasted on TV. You recording it or you're not? Yeah. No, I wish I was live.
All right, that was the first clip there, and so I'll let you know. I don't know what happened at the end of that, but yeah, as you can see, homie went down that way, white Mercedes Benz, and then I guess he must have whipped around. I don't know if he came back around Union Pacific and ended up by where the Food for Less is, so back over in our area. There's a market, Food for Less. Y'all got Food for Lesses out there? And started zipping down some of the streets in the area there. So he was cruising through the hood. And yeah, I don't know how that ended. Let's see. That was me going in for In and Out again, says Blazer. Oh man. So you didn't go back. In and Out is right. Yeah, so I'll try to get details on that one, see what that was all about. But let's see. Juliana says the guy with the B&B in the back of the truck totally let me down. I didn't see that. And yes, Blazer, birds aren't real, and it's a spot number 5. Oh man, it's getting crazier, man. I'm telling you. So yeah, little sneak peek on some action, and then right after the chase and everything was going on, everyone's like, "What the hell is going on?" And the power went out on the whole block all of a sudden, and it was like almost like I felt like a pow. Yeah, it felt like let's see. Then everything went black. I was like, what the heck? Like not dark, it was still daylight out. So, but bro was in the restroom. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing in there, but he was taking care of some sort of business, and yeah, he said and I was like, "Hey dude, you didn't notice the power went out?" The old man on the block I usually say what's up to came by. He was like, "Hey, did the power go out here?" I'm like, "Yes." And bro came out of the restroom, was like, "Hey, yeah, I thought I noticed something." I'm like, dude, felt, it almost felt like a pow too. It's kind of weird, but breaker. All right, so let's see here. Let's get into some of these reports while we are chilling, and I don't get too sidetracked with my world. Yeah, let's hit up the Bigfoot Mapping Project. I love it. I love it, and hopefully you do too. If not, uh, maybe you like it. Yeah, I see 3 new dots added there. And it's been kind of funny, you know, when we zoom in, sometimes the dots will disappear and reappear. So you kind of got to wiggle with it. Just a little heads up if you are on the site. Again, this is the Bigfoot Mapping Project, and people submit reports here. They're Bigfoot reports. And it looks like we have 3 new ones. All these other dots we have read previously. So check that out. If you see your state lit, you know, we stay lit. And Juliana, you know, we featured your video. Oh, damn it. Shh. Yeah, it looks like we're back in Missouri. And actually, I spoke to someone today. There was art, I think they called it almost like an art gallery going on at the Catalyst next door to the shop today. And that was pretty cool. And it was a young lady locally. And so I got to talk to her a bit for the function. And she was telling me she lived out in Missouri for a bit, Kansas as well. And she's locally from, I think, like East LA area, but got to live in those states. I was like, oh, all right, that's pretty cool. And of course, I, you know, brought up Bigfoot and different things. Also did with some other cat that was repping Chicago. I guess he lives out there now, but is now or is originally from like Oklahoma area. So I started bringing up stuff from there. And yeah, hopefully he's going to be booking the Catalyst for a show. So he's an artist also, music performer. So let's see, Tennessee looks like borderline with Kentucky. So it's over on the Kentucky side, and then Ohio again. Not surprising. Yeah, Ohio's always up on the map. And let's get into it. Let's drop the man here a little bit and see if we see any nearby towns or landmarks or any water sources or anything of interest. I see a road nearby there. And looks like a couple other reports nearby the areas as well, or nearby the area as well. Let's see. I don't see the road pop up. Road number. All right, Warrington. So we're in Missouri. And let's see. It says here 8/29/25. So last year, 7:30 p.m., 8-footer. And it did vocalize. So interesting. Got some vocals. We got some vocals. And I'm trying to scroll here. Come on. Uh-oh. Why is it not letting me scroll? There we go. Can I zoom a little bit? All right, I see. So I got to go out and read it like that. It's all good. You can see pretty good. All right. Heard while taking out trash in the woods across the road. Then seen it moving in the woods later that night. Was gone as fast as I blinked. Scared the crap out of me. Then a few nights later, my wife and I kept, and there's a C there, I don't know why. His wife and himself kept hearing noises outside of our bedroom window, but seen nothing. The next day, I found this track just outside of my window.
Ooh, creepy. Bigfoot lurking. And yeah, of course, footprints. And I wonder, was it just a single? It sounds like a single track. I found this track. It's not tracks. And yeah, just typical Bigfoot behavior. We've heard of them peeping Bigfoot. Yeah, looking through windows. And that's probably what it was doing if it was leaving one track near the window there, color black. And yeah, there you go. Quick report there out of Warrington last year. And so yeah, another report nearby there, and then a whole heck of reports all in the outskirts there. So not surprising. We're gonna head on over to, let's head on down to Kentucky and see what's popping down there. And also, look, several reports in this area. You see these red guy here, Redfoot, and a couple yellow ones on top up here. And I see Cumberland Gap National Historical Park. And then off to the left there, the Corrigan Wildlife Management Area. Still off at a distance. Highway, let's see, we got a highway there. Is it, let's see, 290 something east. And then Ferndale. Yeah, we have a Ferndale in Humboldt County as well. Juliana knows Ferndale. And that's where they filmed, I don't know if parts or the whole movie, but Outbreak. And what are, Citizen App Alert. What are some other movies that were filmed? I know some other stuff was filmed in Ferndale, California. All right, so it looks like a little creek flowing by there. A whole lot of greenery in the area. And yeah, Ferndale's a little town there. And this is a red color Bigfoot. So I don't know. I'm still thinking maybe the red ones are maybe like class A reports. Who knows? I haven't figured that out yet. But 8/25/15. So this is, you call it a throwback report. 3:15 p.m. 9 foot in height and a male. Blazer, don't go there. And this one also left footprints. No wood knocks. Color brown black. And that's about it. That was a quick to the point report there. And that's how they go. You never know. Sometimes they're real detailed and long. And I hadn't looked at these before jumping on live. So we're doing this together. So let's see here. We're going to head up north of here into Ohio, which again is one of those states that gets a whole lot of reports. The DNR out that way. Where is it that the DNR is really involved? I forget his name. Quite a character too. He has the look and everything. He's been on some STM documentaries. And we're going to be bringing up STM here in a bit again too, because there's an article we'll be reading. That's it's a trippy one, and I'm surprised they posted this article. We did talk about this case recently, also not too recent, but last year sometime, I believe. So this is 4/1/25, 7:30 p.m. A 9-footer again. That's tall, man. No vocalization. And again, a couple, a wife and a husband describing. Let's see, my wife noticed what she called a large stump. Stump squatch. Frogs and crickets. We ain't got frogs, but we got crickets. Stop making noise. All right. Our dog got weird. Uh-oh. That's, that's always a good people that have good dogs. Man, that's a good friend to have in and outside the field. I miss my dog. So the dog got weird, like she knew whatever was there was an apex predator. Then, and I think it meant then, it was gone. We then found, or maybe that's how they speak up there, who knows? We then found hair in January 2026. Wow, interesting. And we do have our Bigfoot hair in a jar here. Keep it handy. I hear some out there have been gifted and hold it as medicine. Yeah, so our dog had the same reaction when we showed her. So I guess when they showed her the hair, she had that same reaction. Like the dog knew, oh, I know that smell. Very interesting. So Ohio there. So cool. Some new reports there off the Bigfoot Mapping Project. And I did pull a few other reports from other websites, but I did want to get into this article here while we're flowing like this. So we're going to switch on over to a recent article. And welcome to anyone in the chat, or good night to anyone who may have left. We're going to check out this SF Gate article here. And this was, let's see, January 31st, 2026. Let's take a little sip here. This coconut water. Coconut water, man. Cheers. So this is about the the Buena Park, or sorry, Mike, the Knott's Berry Farm, some might know it as, Bigfoot encounter, but it didn't really happen at Knott's Berry Farm. And I would imagine maybe most of you may know Knott's. Knott's is a theme park here in SoCal. And see, I did pull this up. There's Knott's page. And look, yeah, they got the peanuts there, which the peanuts is a whole other rabbit hole, ties to Santa Rosa, California, Sonoma County. And yeah, Knott's, we could go in a whole other rabbit hole there. But yeah, that's the theme park. And so when you hear the Knott's Berry Farm Bigfoot, or if you hear that, that's or this is the case they're referring to. So even for California, this reported Bigfoot sighting was unusually rare. And again, the SF Gate. So witnesses said it was a massive, hairy, loud creature standing about 9 feet tall again. And I'm going to get out the giant pencil here just because we're getting the theme of the 9-footers, or estimated 9 feet. So, a lot of people ask that, like, how tall are big, what are the typical sizes? And of course, you get people who out there will mention things, and even some well-respected people. And they'll give their, I guess, their opinion. And some will tell you like they know. But who knows? We've heard other heights, some that sound ridiculous even. But then, we hear proof of or evidence should I say, of human giants. Hearing more and more about them these days. So let's get into this article here. And it says the greater Orange County. So this is Orange County, Southern California, not too far from here as well, from LA. Anaheim, California. Maybe familiar with that. That's where Disneyland is, right? So yeah, other theme parks in that vicinity. Let's see, the greater Orange County skyline aerial view with the cities of Irvine, yes, Garden Grove, Buena Park. So yeah, Buena Park is where the actual encounter, I believe, happened. And Anaheim. Does that mean home in German? I need to sharpen up my German. In the very far distance. And yeah, this guy gets the props for the images there. D. Louis. And you could also listen to this if you'd like. If you don't want to listen to me read it. And this is by Christine Hitt, Hawaii contributor, editor. So cool. I'm super excited. So STM did cover this in their Southern California episodes, one of the Southern SoCal episodes. And it was very interesting. They had forget the brother from Olympic Project, but super cool cat. I think never met him though. But just everything that I've seen, and he is originally, I think, from out here too. So a couple of those guys have a California Bigfoot mileage under their belts. So super cool. But now they're up in Washington playing with the big boys up there. And but anyway, they touched in on some of this California SoCal Bigfoot activity, and I found it fascinating, interesting. And maybe you've checked those episodes out. Um, I've brought them up a whole lot here, and so yeah, that's where I've started hearing about that. They also had Daniel Perez. He has the Bigfoot Times, and it's been around for quite a long time. Maybe some names you haven't heard in the Bigfoot world there. So Bigfoot sightings are typically associated with remote forests and deep wilderness, not quite residential streets. Hmm. But we've heard different. We've heard quite a bit of these guess you could call them urban. Even though when they come into small towns and rural areas, yeah, it's a trip, when they Bigfoot's in town. But on the night of May 10th, 1982, multiple witnesses, I was in the world by that time. Multiple witnesses in the suburban Orange County city of Buena Park, meaning good park, reported seeing something they couldn't explain. And if the homie Jeff jumps in the chat, we've brought this up, and this is out from his area. So maybe Jeff will be listening, or maybe he's hanging out with us now. And you know what? I should pull up the monitor here so I can see what the heck is going on in the chat. Forget to do that. 1 second. Boom. All right, there we are. Oh, I appreciate those 2 beans there. Bigfoot Fades, much love to you. Yes. We could I'll let you know what we do with that. T-Bone's been MIA for a minute, and then Juliana says even when they come around camp making funny noises, my dogs are always pretty chill. Right on. I think they know we got buddies too. They aren't on the bad side. Ha. All right. So it says 9-footer again. We're going to jot that down in our notes for tonight. And it says, first we hear a noise, then we look. Raymond Hensley told SF Gate, San Francisco Gate, I'm thinking, right? By phone. And then a foul odor came by. That's something else you should be putting in your notes. We've been bringing that a whole lot up lately. Or bringing that up a whole lot lately. Y'all get it. The stink. Yeah, I had experienced it recently. So it's hot. It's hot on my mind. It was hot. Geez, let me tell you. Yeah, so the foul odor came by. Hensley was 16 at the time, hanging out with his 18-year-old brother and friends in the back of his apartment complex when the mysterious creature caught their attention about 30 feet away in a drainage ditch. And I think I want to say we did cover this too, but this is cool. We got some pictures here too. Let's see if we could scoot that up a bit. All right. Hensley imitated the sound of the creature made next, vocalizing a snarling growl. Whoa. let's pull up our snarling growl into the phone. The manifestation, he recalls, stood upright like a large person. It got bigger as the roar got louder. He believes it had to have been Bigfoot, or, if he must concede, a bear at the very least. It was not human at all, he said. It was very scary. It was real. Nobody will make me change my mind with it, he said. Me and my 3 other guys really seen it, smelt it, heard it. I really think it was the real deal. I really believe it to this day. Check out that picture. You see some homies right there. Got the flannels on, and you know when the homies come out, it's a serious deal. Oh man, the 80s. I think I was just 1 at the time. Great picture. And that's the drainage there. And we hear that, Bigfoot's going underground. I think because I've seen this in someone's video, Colorado Bigfoot video. And I swear the thing, it looked like it was a dark figure, what you would think a Bigfoot would look like. This is years back before I even know how to, I don't know if you could even, probably could screen record, but I didn't know how to do it. And I time-stamped it and left them a message. But yeah, this thing, whatever it was, it seemed to just like melt into the forest ground. It was the wildest thing. And, but anyway, yeah, we hear about them going underground through all sorts of ways via caves. I believe the cave thing, but I don't believe the matching of the missing 411 map with cave systems. And I question all that. And we've read a really interesting article from a spelunker also, I guess you could say, debunking that. And I've gotten into that, and we'll get into some 411, some DP M411 in a bit too. Yeah, we usually do here. Yeah, I think there's just so many facets of the 411 phenomenon, and that map has not been updated in years. And so to overlay it with just caves, and we know the phenomenon supposedly, I guess, happens in air, land, water. So there's, a lot of cases to update, and that map, I'm telling you, will look a lot different if a lot of those reports were added to a new map. And there's some new updates with, I guess, the missing 411 national parks documentary, and we'll touch more on that in a bit. So residents of Buena Park, California huddle around drainage outlet in hopes of glimpsing the Buena Foot on May 13th, 1982, Los Angeles Public Library. And I've been meaning to go there. That's an old world building that goes underground. Yeah, right here in downtown, not too far away. Yeah, to go look at some old like news stuff, newspapers and stuff like that. I have to get a whole day off to do that, I'm sure. Few days to go through stuff, figure out how it works, and get into the actually finding some gold, but I'm sure there's stuff there. And not only pertaining to Bigfoot, but all sorts of other interesting stuff, I would imagine. So I haven't been there in a long time. Thinking police wouldn't put much stock in the story, Hensley's brother asked an aunt to call authorities. According to an article in the Los Angeles Herald Examiner on May 12th, 1982, the apartment complex's manager, Frank Misaleni, did too. Misaleni initially didn't believe residents when they started waving him over. He told the paper, but his skepticism faded when he heard a roar. Whoa. Like the dinosaurs in the movies, and smelled something like hell. Like, oh gosh, yes. Where are you at? Worse than a sewer. And here we go. Notes to take. So the Bluff Creek trip this last year, where I had the light behind the tent, I had a smell, right? This bad smell, and I described it as a sewer smell. So here you go. Worse than a sewer. So interesting that he used that as an analogy. The hairy creature was gone before he could see it, but after grabbing a flashlight, Miss Selene said he saw large tracks. The prints were huge. Miss Selene re-encountered to the Herald Examiner. Frankly, I was a little scared. I'm 67 years old. What if something that big decided it wanted to come into our apartment? Yikes. What was it recently? Was it I don't know if it was STM. It was something posted, Bigfoot related. I think it might have been over on Stacy Brown's channel, but it was something about like it opened my door or something like that. And here we got a composite description. I love those. This is a pretty good one. Watch out, Blazer, cover your eyes. Bigfoot buns. We were bringing that up the other night. And yeah, they got to have buns, especially if they're going uphill and all that walking around. And it says, Chutch Huggies or Hughes. How would you pronounce that last name? Hughes. Chutch Hughes. I like that. An artist with the Los Angeles Herald Examiner drew this picture of Buena foot from eyewitness accounts. Los Angeles Public Library. Super cool. And it says police were skeptical of the reports, of course. And residents grew angry when it took officers an hour, Southern California, for them to respond. The newspaper reported. Oh, sorry. Give me a chuckle there. Judy Wheeler, I see you in the chat there. Elder Medicine Bear Claw, welcome on in. We are hanging out tonight. In case you just came in, we read off a few 3 new Bigfoot reports added to the Bigfoot Mapping Project. And who knows how it goes. Depending on how it goes tonight, we might read a few more that aren't new. But if you're interested, they're not that long at all. So you didn't miss too much. And you could always rewind and peep that out. Let's see. So they should have just come over instead. Let's see. They should have just come on over instead of asking me my life story, Miss Eleni said. I told them I was the manager, and they said, we get a lot of crank calls. Yeah. They should have had a helicopter get right out there, and they would have caught it. 6 officers eventually arrived, not finding any footprints or odor. Later, a police spokesperson told the newspaper It's probably somebody's pet. Whose pet would that be? In the days that followed, around 100 area residents waited and watched for the creature's return, dubbing it Buena Foot. The mystery became the talk of the town, while frightened residents locked doors and parents kept children indoors. Wow. That would that would have been so rad to experience. And I want to say there's probably more stuff like this. So anyone in SoCal area, remember any stuff like this going on back in the day, get at your boy or get at someone in the chat, because we got a lot of good people in the chat that will take reports. So all about it. And there's let's see, from left, and we brought these guys up recently I think they might have been brought up during the Lancaster reports we were talking, or there's these two other guys from the Lancaster, Southern California area. I don't know if they were involved with this, but I do believe they may have came out in that same STM documentary. If not, it's another one from SoCal. But from left, Tom Mazula or Muzila, sorry, and Dennis Ruminer of Special Force Investigations are seen with plaster casts of a print left by Bigfoot of Buena Park, California in 1982, also from the Los Angeles Public Library. An interesting looking track there. Looks pretty gnarly, but I do see the shape of a foot. I don't know. What do you see? Around the same time, two paranormal investigators, Tom Muzila and Dennis Ruminer of a group called the Special Forces Investigations, arrived to search for tracks. They even used diving rods in an attempt to locate the creature's whereabouts. During the investigation, they found what they called a humanoid footprint with 5 big toe marks and about 7 inches across the ball of the foot. Ruminer told United Press International. Before we got a good, clear look at it, another kid stepped on it. Yep, it happens. If not, a dog or you name it. We hear this happen a lot. And completely obliterated the track. Bummer. Yeah, that deserves. And I'm sure the skeptics are out there like, it's all good. So inside a drainage tunnel about 150 yards away, the two investigators located another unusual print. Yes, we discovered a handprint. Yeah, which is becoming more of a thing these days. People looking, I know Cliff Barackman's keeping an eye out for handprints, and he actually shared a recent video over on his YouTube channel. I shared that over on the posts. I think they called it 17 by 7, and they found some very interesting tracks. And another recent post I shared today dealing with tracks as well. And I also answered texts. I shared some tracks I had found in Oregon by the somewhat near the Bigfoot trap. And I shared that on Bigfoot Fades' page. I've been talking about, you can share pictures on people's channels. And so I did that over on Bigfoot Fades, and Tex asked a question about if I measured it and stuff. And actually, I broke down the story. Actually, that particular track I didn't measure, but I came back the next day with plaster, and it did cast some, which I would imagine were the same. There are several different size tracks in the area, along with a little teepee structure and all that. So very interesting find there. And what else? So I think it's Lane County Bigfoot, and we'll look maybe in a little bit, but yeah, it shared some really good a trackway they found, which I think it reminds me very much of the Oregon stuff I found. Deep in the mud and toes showing and everything, and it's a bunch of tracks. So she shared another little minute video, but she did a longer video recently. And again, I love checking out stuff like that. Um, so during the investigation, they found what they called a humanoid footprint. And where the hell is the handprint part that I read something about? Okay, yeah. Let's see. We discovered a handprint in a mud bank on one side of the tunnel. We saw the first 3 digits of the right hand and thumbprint. And the handprints are harder to see those. I mean, let alone foot impressions. And Rumner said, I put my hand next to the print and pushed it into the bank in the same manner, and I couldn't push it half as far, and I weigh 170 pounds. He made a plaster cast of it. All right, good man. We got some casts out of that. But its whereabouts are unknown today. Let's see. Police, someone's got it out there. Probably someone in Orange County. I wouldn't doubt it. Unless the Smithsonian, this, you know, they, let's not go there. Anyway, anyone in Orange County got a Bigfoot hand cast, let us know. See, so police dismissed claims. A few days later, the police held a news conference saying the mystery had been solved. They shared a photo of a reportedly 5 to 8 inch bare chested and unhoused man with shoulder length hair and a beard, which was taken by another independent paranormal investigator on the street half a mile away. So there's a Buena Park, 1953. The police explained that the man must have been mistaken for the creature, but the residents who originally reported the sighting were adamantly opposed to the theory, including Misanelli. The police department is covering up, Misanelli told the United Press International. Another resident, 25-year-old David Bianis, also disagreed. This wasn't a human, period. I guess they're trying to get people out of there, the flood canal area. Bianis told the Los Angeles Herald Examiner in an edition from May 16th, 1982. In California, Bigfoot sightings are common, so much so that a bill was recently introduced to name it as the state's official cryptid. Yeah, what was it? Bill 666. And still haven't heard any updates on that. Yeah, why 666? We're questioning that. Went down the whole devil. Why, they're referred to as, what is it? Mountain devils, creek devils, all these devil references. Makes me wonder. Anyway, so official cryptid or creature whose existence is unproven. Most sightings usually occur in the mountain ranges from Mendocino, whoop, whoop. And no, they should go up a little higher, like Del Norte County. So from the top, Mendocino, you're already leaving Humboldt out. That's a sin. To Southern California, largely avoiding the majority of Los Angeles and Orange counties, which are densely populated. But we've read many Los Angeles County, or several Los Angeles County Bigfoot reports, and here we are in Orange. Uh, all I know is our local one down here was almost certainly not Bigfoot. It was almost certainly a false scare, and there was some poor soul down there in a drainage ditch. Chris Jespin, a local Orange County historian, told SF Gate. There's an aerial view of Buena Park, California, featuring Knott's Berry Farm. Liz laid in there, the photo shot. Jespin wrote about the mystery monster on his blog in 2018. He said stories about Bigfoot are unusual for the area. We don't get stories like that down here, really, he said. Aside from this incident, the only Bigfoot reference in Orange County he's aware of was also in Buena Park at Knott's Berry. Okay, so is this a whole other? I have to dig deeper into this. Oh, yes. Where it's Rapid Rides. So Knott's Berry Farm, where it's Rapid Rides, was originally called Bigfoot Rapids. And I was just listening to, here we go again, Creek Devil on YouTube. They've been posting almost daily, it seems like, which is super cool. I listen to that as well. I geek out on all sorts of Bigfoot stuff. And so Creek Devil is one channel I listen to, and they have William Jevning on there, who's a host. And he was also, a host on Sasquatch Chronicles back in the day. Anyway, he worked on that whole Bigfoot Rapids. They hired him. He talks about that. They hired him to make the ride look like Northern California. So suggesting that Buena Park might have inspired the ride. So, But Knott's Berry Farm historian Alan Pavlovic told SF Gate in an email that the 1982 sighting of Buenafoot had nothing to do with Bigfoot Rapids. While some people are skeptical of Buenafoot, others point to similar animal sightings as a comparison. One of the first things I would ask somebody is, hey, let's consider wild animals. Orange County, LA County, do you occasionally get coyotes and bears? Oh, yeah. And cool, look, we got the homie. Yep.
Eric Nelson.
Yeah. And I bring him up a lot here, and he's the curator over at the China Flat Bigfoot Museum. Yep, in Willow Creek there. I don't know if Juliana's still in the chat. She knows this place for sure, and I know it very well. And some of you may know it as well. And so it says here, Eric Nelson, a volunteer at the Willow Creek China Flat Museum and Bigfoot Collection in Humboldt County, told SF Gate, coyote sightings are common in Orange County, and mountain lions also roam the area. Yep, we're going to bring that up again too, is the cats, all the cat sightings. We just seen a cat running around the middle of San Francisco. The cats are all over the place out here, even Southern California, a whole lot out here. Talked about some recent attacks and almost attacks. And actually the attacks recent one was in Colorado, fatal one. So Nelson suggested that if these wild animals are found in suburban areas, then why not others like Bigfoot? Yeah. Hell yeah, Eric. So the Willow Creek China Flat Museum in Willow Creek, California houses the world's most famous Bigfoot collection. And we've shared videos from in there and pictures and all that stuff. Pretty much every year we go up and we're able to make it. Nelson said the museum covers local history, yes, which they've been upgrading as well. We've talked about that, getting into more of the natives and the different tribes that were in the area that are still in the area as well. So local history, including settler history and an exhibition on Native Americans, yes, who he notes have passed down oral histories of a creature similar to Bigfoot for thousands of years. Hoopa, Karuk, Yurok. About one third of the museum is dedicated to Bigfoot, including a collection of casts, and some of them are original casts. They got some original Patty cast there. After reviewing the photo of the Buena Park or Buena Foot hand print cast that was taken in 1982, Nelson said it resembles other casts he's seen in that it seems Bigfoot sinks its fingers into hillsides in order to gain hold as it climbs. However, he's not able to make out in the photo if there are lines and skin markings, maybe meaning dermal ridges, like Bigfoot is believed to have, and a thumb that turns out away from the palm about a quarter turn or more. When it comes to Bigfoot, generally, Nelson considers himself a hopeful skeptic. He noted that scientists once believed there were small numbers of, pre-human species, and now there are over a dozen. So he said it is or it isn't unreasonable to think that there could be more. I think there's enough physical evidence out there, some people say circumstantial, to at least warrant further investigation, he said. Now living in Colorado, Hensley is one of the few remaining witnesses to have seen Buenafoot that night nearly 44 years ago. He said he has laughed and joked about the sighting along with non-believers who think that he made it up. But deep down, nothing they say has changed his mind about what he saw, even after all this time. If they would have seen and smelled and heard, they would be believers, he said. All right, so that's the end of that. Very interesting, cool article there. Woof, a little long. I'm starting to sweat. What up, Red Shot? See, he says Buena Park, the last place I would think there's Bigfoot. Yeah, no, this is a throwback from 82. And let's hop in the chat over here. What up, Richard? Catwoman, he says. Got Catwoman in the chat. What's going on? Paul's Boutique. They're in Brooklyn. He says the number is 718-498-1043. And Blazer, I'm gonna send you a message, brother. I was supposed to do that the other night. It says there was a mountain lion attacks in the early 2000s in OC. Forgot what park it was. Yeah, there's been some recent almost attacks also. So yeah, no, we talked about Black Star Canyon also. That's in Orange County, paranormal hotspot. And there's been some Bigfoot reports out of there too. So yes, we made it through it, Judy. Not too bad. I didn't stumble too much. So yeah, that was pretty interesting on the Bigfoot front there. We got those reports in, and I did want to, might as well check out a few other reports. I did have some interest in some reports also out of Southern California here nearby. So we're gonna take a quick peek. It's just a couple reports. I checked it out really quick. We're going to head over to Santa Barbara. So that's another place that one wouldn't think, Orange County, LA County, Santa Barbara, Ventura County, Santa Barbara. And we could name other counties in SoCal that you wouldn't think. But yeah, according to BFRO here, let me pull this up properly. Sorry about that. I'm glad I caught that before I started reading. I'm like, uh-oh, they can't see it. So give me 1 second. Good to see you in here, Richard. Hope you're keeping warm, sir. And what up, lurkers? welcome on in as well. Let's see. We're going to pull up this. Here we go. All right. Bigfoot Mapping Project. I already got California pulled up here. There's Santa Barbara with just 2 reports submitted to this website here. So one is the fall of 1975. So the super throwback. Class B, boar hunters find fresh footprints north of Lake Cachuma. And I've actually, I call it Cachuma Lake. I don't know why. And then April 1982, Class A. This one really got my attention. High school teacher recalls a nighttime sighting while camping in Los Padres National Forest. And we have been out to Los Padres. It was what, maybe 2 years ago now, 1 or 2 years ago. And went out with the boys after hitting Bluff Creek. They all came down to, Tate and who else made it down? Anyway, a couple of the guys came down and we did Los Padres National Forest. Didn't have any Bigfoot sightings, nothing, not too much happened there. But it was still a good experience. Other than the hurricane and the earthquake that hit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. But anyway, let's get into this report here. Report 25444, Class A. It's all right. Y'all could take naps in the chat. 1982 spring, April, the date they do not recall, the state of California, Santa Barbara County. Let's go. Location details, we were near the confluence of the Sasquatch and Manzanita rivers. And Bigfoot Fades, they mentioned Manzanita, your guest tonight. And I love the Manzanita. It reminds me of little madrone trees. And they say the Manzanita berry, they're these little berries, and I think a lot of wildlife eat them because I find it in their scat. So Bigfoot probably eats them too. They got little manzanita berries, and the manzanita berries are really good for. I know my queen makes I don't know if it's not a salve, but it's pretty liquidy. But it's yeah, I guess you could say like a salve, but it's great for poison oak for those that get poison oak pretty bad. I'm pretty resistant to it, but yeah, we usually keep a jar of that stuff around when we're up living in the woods and stuff like that. You know, usually at home we have a jar of that stuff. So manzanita, put that one in the notes. Nearest road, Hayway, 154. Also noticed, let's see, we did not find anything to be unusual before or after, says other witnesses. And I'm trying to see where the heck the report is. There were 4 of us. We were eating and drinking beer. We were not drunk, of course. Yeah, you can drink beer and not get drunk. We had only had a beer or 2 apiece. So other stories, my partner and I do not talk much about what we saw because most people just make fun of us. In the past, I have inquired, but I have not found anything. So time and conditions, it was early evening between 7 to 9 in the evening. We had a large campfire at the time of our sighting, and the night was clear but dark. And said the environment. We had set up camp right on the Manzanita River on a sandy area. So water source nearby. The terrain was hilly with a mixture of pine and oak trees. Nice. I love oak trees and pine trees. I love trees. And yeah, you know, there's hills up there. I hear, you know, a lot of farms up that way. A lot of ganja farms too. Once things went legal, I heard Santa Barbara blew up. So, you know, growers and food growers too. A lot. A good friend of mine does the Hollywood Farmers Market, and they got a farm in Santa Barbara. live up in the hills and grow all types of amazing stuff. They're really blessed. And it's been a while since I've been to a farmer's market out here, so maybe go pay him a visit soon and see follow-up investigation. And maybe reading the follow-up might give us a little more insight. The report really didn't say much, but a high school teacher anyway. Santa Barbara, a couple reports there. I won't read the other one. And there is one more. Let's see. I did have several set up here, so. And here it is, like another Santa Barbara report. And this is off the Bigfoot report database. It says Cole Beltramo's Bigfoot encounter in Los Padres. Again, Los Padres National Forest. Cole Beltramo recounts a series of eerie experiences during his childhood camping trips with his family in the Los Padres National Forest. The first incident occurred when he was 12 years old, camping with his father and younger sister at a typically, and let's see how long this is. Typically populated campground that they have visited multiple times before. This time, however, they were the only campers in this area. On the morning after their first night, Cole recalls dreaming. And interesting, I'll pull out the giant pencil here because talking about dreams, it's something that gets my interest. So on the morning after this night, Cole recalls dreaming he was floating toward a creek. Upon waking, he noticed that he was outside the tent, approximately 30 yards away from where he had fallen asleep. Weird. He describes the campground as flat, making it impossible for him to have rolled away on his own. At the time, let me try that again. At the time, he had no explanation for this phenomenon. And all aboard, we're getting a train rolling by here, and chalked it up to an odd dream or a bear encounter. Though he felt that a bear would not have been, or though he felt that a bear would have been more aggressive. The following year, Cole and his family returned to the forest and decided to backpack deeper into the wilderness. After making camp under an oak tree, they settled down for the night. In the middle of the night, Cole was awakened by his father's hand on his chest. His father whispered, urging him to wake up and listen. Something was outside the tent, breathing heavily. They could see the silhouette of something large blocking the stars outside of the tent, or outside their tent. Eesh. Cole's father speculated that it could be a bear or another wild animal, as they cautiously discussed their options. Cole remembers feeling an intense mix of fear and curiosity. The figure remained outside for an unspecified amount of time before Cole eventually fell back asleep. In the morning, he realized the enormity of what they had seen. The figure must have been 8 or 9 feet tall, dwarfing his father, who was around 5'10". While they had initially agreed to talk about the incident, they never did, choosing instead to let the experience fade away in the background of their memories. Beltramo's encounter reflect the mystery and intrigue surrounding potential Bigfoot sightings, although he does not explicitly state that he believes what he saw was Bigfoot. The details he shares evoke characteristics typically associated with the elusive creature, including its imposing height and the deep, slow breathing that he and his father heard. Eesh. Years later, Cole continues to explore the forest and has several other experiences. as he ventures deeper into the wilderness for hunting and nature trips. Although he describes himself as unafraid of the woods, he acknowledges that the encounter has left a lasting impression on him. And he goes on and on there. So yeah, interesting. Los Padres. So yeah, we've heard some stories. I don't know if it was Cachuma Lake exactly, but someone had left a message talking about some sort of giant of in Los Padres National Forest. And usually Los Padres National Forest we bring up because there was the case of the missing firefighter Mike Herdman. And this happened several years back, and it was just one of those weird ones. He went out hiking deep into the Los Padres, into the Sespe Wilderness, and he was a firefighter for Arcadia, not Arcata, California, Arcadia, which is nearby here. Um, and him and his buddy were back there with his dog and set up camp. And it was, I believe the story goes, it was nighttime. I don't know if they had a fire going or what, but his dog took off running for some reason. It just bolted, and he went after it. And when he took off, they said he was barefoot. And again, this was nighttime. And then he was missing for several days. So they sent out the search team, whole nine. And I believe the dog came back, but he didn't. And eventually they found him like at the bottom of uh of a like a mountain. And the weird thing is that, like, yeah, they said that he climbed, I don't know how high. It was like something ridiculous. A ridiculous amount of elevation that he went up, and then he was found at the bottom of that. So pretty weird. And I guess, that made it to the 411 list. So Blazer says unknown shadowy figure outside the tent. I'm gonna go back to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, and when I had the light situation, light shining behind my tent or in front of whatever it was, wherever it was positioned, um, it was happening, and it was increments where it would turn on and flash and get all bright and weird, and it would dim. That went on for over an hour, to the point where I eventually got kind of tired and went to sleep. But I was being quiet. I was trying not to make any noise at all, and I was recording as much as possible. And but eventually I went to sleep too. I had to. So I could see that happening. But no, some of these more intense moments, and like tonight there was Mike Wanders was on live. He was doing I don't know if it was Q&A, but he was on live, and that's also shared in the posts. And he gets out there. He's an avid backpacker, hiker, and Bigfooter. And so check him out. He's in the hot seat. He's going to a lot of spots. Got a lot of more documentaries coming out, Bigfoot ones and hiking ones. So he's talking all about that tonight. So it was good to see him on. And he was talking about a certain experience he had in Yellowstone, backpacking by himself out there. Amazing stuff. Rich Shot says, FR, so creepy at night in the woods. Any woods. Yep. And so, yeah, talking creepy. So we got some Bigfoot news in there, little local reports. We're not gonna go to South America yet. We're gonna set that aside, but we are gonna take a little trip up north, up the PNW. And actually, this was going on for quite a bit. And I heard this through DP, who we're going to talk about in a bit, David Politis, years back on some of his interviews. Some of you may have remembered, or maybe have heard about the cases of, and we've talked about it also, of feet being washed up along the Pacific Northwest. And so I don't know if it's happening again or not, but it seems like it's online. I guess it's picked up a lot of traction. And this, I believe, may have started maybe in 2007 when they first started reporting some of this stuff. And I think it was maybe 2016, 17, maybe when I heard some of DP's interviews and him mentioning it. But I don't think he made it part of the missing 411 phenomenon. But it was just something he was bringing up. And so people have been wondering how, whose feet and how and why and all that. And so who's catching this? Who's watching the Super? I don't know, but I heard Bad Bunny opened up and I'm not a fan. Was it what the hell was going on tonight? Was it the Grammys? And isn't he doing the halftime show? Is he doing the halftime show for the Super Bowl? And I can't wait for some of these occult breakdowns. Was there a ritual tonight that he did during the Grammys? And then, the Super Bowl will most likely be, because that's what the halftime show is. The script says Pat's winning, even though they're underdogs. I was wondering, I was like, what is he talking? I think he's talking football there. Yeah, avocado prices are up. What else? What's another one? Certain things are up right now. Oh, not to mention gold and silver. Yes. And you know what? My bro actually picked up a interesting penny. See if we could share this. And let's pop this up like that. Boom. It's from. Let's see, can you see that? World's Fair. And I'll share it in the posts also. But this is and I don't think it's been circulated. Yeah, it says World's Fair there, and I think it's I'll read it. Souvenir World's Fair St. Louis 1904. Good luck. I have been to Missouri and got cleaned got cleaned. I'm not sure what that all means, but and then on the other sides, this is the other side of it. I'll hold it for a second. I know it's really hard to see. Again, I'll share this. And on this side, it says, go way back and sit down. A pot full of money. Keep me and never be caught short. And at the bottom, in real small letters, it says something applied for. I don't know if it says pay or pay and applied for. But yeah, interesting coin there. And then it's got the penny 1904. It's got I don't know if that you'd call that I don't know who that is. It looks like a Native American with some head regalia there. And on the other side, it's got the 1 cent with some arrows and some sort of bush. I don't know what plant that is. I was curious to know. And there's a shield there, and I'm sure you could break down the shield, the occult. So yeah, there'll be some occult breakdowns, I'm sure, of Bad Bunny and of course the Super Bowl and the Grammys. Yeah, I get into that stuff as well. Silver going crazy. Yeah, it took a little dip. Yeah, the World's Fair, super cool find there. My brother's on a trip right now. He's getting into collecting certain things, and now he wants to go looking for medals and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. You're on a new trip. So anyway, these feet have been washing up, and there was a news article, and we'll check it out. It's just a couple minutes. and it's out of Washington State, I believe, and they're just touching base on these feet that have washed up. And again, I don't know if they're washing up again. I didn't watch the whole newsreel, but if I could find it, let's see. You're gonna be right here. Gotcha. So this is Fox 13 Seattle, and we're gonna have a listen to what they got to say here. Let's see about the feet. And here we go.
Live desk. Have a live look outside right now from our Capitol Hill camera, looking out at Puget Sound. And one of the reasons I'm looking out there right now is because our next story actually has to do with water surrounding our state and what's going on with feet that
Wada.
have routinely been washing ashore over the years. It's a weird story. I realize even as I say it, that people are probably wondering what in the world they're watching right now. So we're going to bring in Fox 13's Lauren Donovan. She's joining us from up in our podcast studio. So first and foremost, Lauren, I appreciate you for always bringing us some of the most unique stories.
And just a heads up, actually, I did watch. I thought this was so they're gonna. This is a couple minutes, but I watched a 10-minute. So I watched her interview, and I was not impressed with her. I don't know, with a lot of the stuff she had to say, but I held through it. But anyway, we'll get, I guess, a little snippet here.
I think everyone in the pitch meeting this morning thought something was seriously wrong with me. Yeah, well, I think this is, if you've lived in the Pacific Northwest for a certain amount of time, you're on social media, you constantly hear the tales of why are these feet washing ashore? Severed feet found in tennis shoes, sneakers, you can say however you want it. Matt, this is so popular. I mean, of a phenomenon to get into. There's its own Wikipedia page for it. Okay.
I've been digging into this like over.
And yes, you can find more information on Wikipedia. Some articles have been claiming that they've figured out what it is, or scientists are saying they figured out. And I've heard even from way back when I heard DP talking about this stuff, there was speculation that possibly because let's see, when did Fukushima happen? But they were thinking maybe bodies from like Fukushima, or maybe bodies coming from across seas, which I could see that happening. And then they were also thinking some sort of serial killer was around, but they were saying they were being found all the way as far low as Eureka, California, Humboldt County. Yeah, we've talked about it. And so yeah, I tried looking for some articles on the feet in Eureka, couldn't find it this time, but and that got my attention at the time. I was living, up that way, so I was like, "Ooh, what the heck is going on?" But yeah, it seems like a lot of it's being concentrated in this particular area they're mentioning
For the
also.
years, just like, and when I say digging in, I mean like going on like rabbit holes of like, what in the world am I hearing? So when you brought it up, I kind of understood it, and I guess I didn't realize how many people didn't know what I was talking about, because I think people were looking at me like I was a serial killer when I started being like, yeah. So when feet wash ashore, as they do, and people were looking at me like, wait, what are you talking about, Matt?
Well, the fact that you just brought up yourself being a potential serial killer is really enjoyable. But no, you are not. I can confirm that. But essentially, and sorry, Alan, I'm getting a little.
This is the darn long version. I had looked up a 2-minute version. Anyway, so they're bringing up the feet again. I don't know if they found new feet. But and of course, DP gets into the whole feet thing, people missing shoes and stuff like that. So it kind of, I could see why it was in his radar. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna dig around more and see if there's been new cases. Has anyone been keeping up with this? And if so, let me know. Let me know what you're finding, what you're hearing. See from tsunami in Japan, says Blazer. And then you mentioned about the coin. You were saying the coin the Indian head sent features a portrait of Liberty. And I like how you put just Liberty, not Lady Liberty, wearing a Native American headdress, which is often misidentified as an Indian. Ha, yeah, you see, it got me. It's very interesting. Thank you for that share, Blazer. So yeah, is the feet thing happening again? I don't know. It's back on the news, and apparently it's all over TikTok. They mentioned on this, and I don't know if Instagram's blowing up with it. I haven't seen anything on there, but I did run into several news reels on it. And of course, we're not going to watch this whole 11-minute interview. But yeah, I think the other short news reel was also from the same news station. Yeah, let's see. Bigfoot Face says, had a guy tell me today went taught. Let's see, I didn't understand that part, but let's see. I had a guy tell me today when something about the woods and something was wooing at like howling with a woo at the end. They freaked out and left. It was watching them from the forest. Whoa. See, Bigfoot Fades getting in some fresh local reports. That's the beauty about, living in Oregon. You get stuff like that. Patrick Noble, what's up, brother? I'm going to stop sharing that there. And then let's see, anything else I wanted to mention? Boom, boom, boom. There was, okay, yeah. So we're talking missing 411. We're getting into that. And I talked about the new, and I don't know if any of you follow the Can-Am Missing. And if you do, then you probably already seen this. And it was weird because at first I thought this documentary was going to be released first, the National Parks Missing 411. And so that was being promoted at first. And then all of a sudden, the American Sasquatch came out of like left field. And I believe he explained all that. But I don't know. I don't know if there was backlash from people because sometimes I only, I do follow him on X also, but I don't read much of his posts there. But in the beginning of his videos, he kind of explains sometimes he gets negative feedback from certain people. And I don't know where all that's happening, maybe on Facebook or something, or maybe it's on X, who knows? But so yeah, I was under the impression that first that documentary was coming out, but the American Sasquatch came out, it was a surprise too. And I still haven't seen it. Yeah. I will watch it. I will watch it. And so yeah, anyway, so now it's I guess official that the documentary is coming out. And I don't know, I thought he had mentioned they were going to have it up in Tacoma, also up in Washington, like they did the American Sasquatch documentary, the premiere. But let's see, this is just the short little part of the beginning of his last video, and he's, I believe, explaining what the deal is with the documentary. So let's have a listen to that, because I was a little confused with everything. And usually I'd be on top. I would have already seen American Sasquatch and all that, but I've been caught up in the mix. We'll get to it.
Finalizing plans right now. March 21st, 2026 will be the premiere of Missing 411 National Parks. Yes, we've got the premiere date.
All right, got that.
We're working on the location right now. And could be any one of numerous places that we're looking at, but guaranteed March 21st. So as I promised, the first quarter of 2026, we are going to deliver. Hopefully that'll squelch any bad rumors going on.
Yeah, you see? Wonder what people are saying. But I'm excited. I wanna definitely check it out. I'm gonna check it out. And I wish I could make the premiere. We know P&W Rush made the American Sasquatch premiere, so that was super cool.
But it's been a very, very busy late 25, 2026 for the team. They have been working like mad dogs trying to get things done. So I appreciate that from them. Remember, American Sasquatch, Man, Myth, or Legend, still playing. You can watch it, Amazon or iTunes. And the rest of my 3 movies, Missing 411, Missing 411 The Hunted, and Missing 4...
All right. So, little information on that in case you missed any of that. Anyone going to the premiere of that? Anyone planning to go check that out? And I know that they're doing the Bigfoot cruises. I think they have one going for 2026 already this year. And that'd be something super cool to check out too, go on a cruise. They've done it in Alaska. In the last one, they switched it up and did it out in the Caribbean. Yeah, man. Bigfoot Pond, the Caribbean. Yeah, that'd be cool too, although it's not Bigfoot territory. Well, who knows? Bigfoot might be out in the islands over there. Mel's Hole is also in Washington. Yes. QT Pie 509. Welcome on in. Yeah, Washington's got all sorts of stuff. I mentioned the click. How do you say it? Click. Jeez, come on, Glenn. I'm trying to mention that cat, that ape cat. Click-a-tat ape cat. I can't say it fast. I think I said it right. Forgive me if I didn't. But yeah, Washington's got all sorts of, and Washington's up there with number 1 with Bigfoot sightings, and then pretty much number 1 with UFO sightings too, which I find fascinating and should be noted, people, because a lot of people report strange lights. Some have even reported UFOs in and around Bigfoot sightings or apparitions of the creatures, and I do think there's a thing there. I'm not saying they come out of UFOs or anything like that, but got to take note that these strange lights, strange objects are popping up where they do. And yeah, very weird, I think. Washington State. Let's see. Maria says, what kind of show is this? It's a late show. Glad you caught it. All right. So let's see. So we covered the 411 stuff. What else was there? Covered the human feet. So it's the Salish Sea where they're focusing a lot of the feet, I guess, where a lot of them have been found also. But yeah, let us know if you know different parts of the Pacific Northwest where this may be happening still. Because sometimes, stuff like that won't also, sometimes won't make international news or even the news at all. It might just stay locally there or, or just between locals. And a lot of that stuff happens out here. I'm glad we could give you a little chuckle there. It's the Night Owl show, says Fades. Yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna let y'all go and enjoy the rest of your nights. I wish you guys a great week. And Bigfoot Fades, keep me updated with anything and Tom, anything going on with Tom. I would like to stay informed with that, and we'll keep him in our prayers. And I keep all of you. You know, I pray for the planet. You know, some people are out there like, you know, they say when people say, "Oh yeah, I'll pray for you," and this and that they don't pray for you. I do. I definitely do, and I love you all. And thank you for hanging out. Let's see, is there anything else? No, I think that's about it. Bigfoot Fades. Let's link up and do another show. Paranormal Paul, I got a text from you. Yes, sir. That's yes. Yeah, would you like to link up and do another show? And then we could figure out and see if we could stream it from have it stream on my channel and have it stream on yours. No pressure. And anyone else interested, Blazer, you want to come up, chop it up? You can wear a mask or, you know, wear a cape and a mask if need be. And Night Owl show this Friday. Yeah, if you guys on Fridays, and I got to remember that because last Friday I was ready to come and go live, but I was like, you know what? Midwest Night Watchers are on live, and it's always fun. There goes the train. It's always fun to hang out with them, and we get into all sorts of different stuff. They read some cryptid stories, and then from there, who knows where it goes, but we have laughs, we share information, hang out, and have a good time. So yeah, Hanford nuclear site too. Lots of sky activity there. Cutie pie, super cool. Are you up in Washington? Super lucky if you are. And Bigfoot Fades, yes, don't forget to subscribe to her channel. She's on fire. All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. Thank you for hanging out. And feel free to share this out to someone who you think may enjoy this. Yeah, we dropped a few subs. It's weird. That happens, you know, kind of numbers go up and down, fluctuate. But what I have noticed on videos is that it'll show me a certain number and then it'll drop those numbers. Instead of like, you know, usually the numbers should go up and maybe it'll freeze at a certain point. But I don't think I've ever seen that before where they tell you a certain number and then you check again and then it drops. And even like the thumbs up will do that. It'll show you a certain amount and so anyone else notice that on their videos? I'd be interested. We're you know, we're aware of some of the weird stuff that happens on YouTube. So this is just one I've noticed recently. What up, Woo Reezy? My hero from the West Coast, not the best coast. Bigfoot Brown Dreezy. Yeah. Much love to you, D. Hope you're doing well, man. And maybe I don't know. Were you lurking? Right on. Just sub Bigfoot Fades. Maria, you're gonna love the channel. Trust me, I wouldn't recommend it if you wouldn't. And she just passed I think you passed the 1K mark already, right? 1K. Yeah. Now let's get her past 10K. We could do it. And I see you doing that soon, Bigfoot Fades. I bet you could do it. You could probably even do it this year. Let's make that happen, y'all. Let's share out Bigfoot Fades' channel. And who else? Let's see, Midwest Night Watchers. They should still be in here. Let's blow them up too. Yeah, let's get their numbers up. And I love sharing different channels, different things, helping people grow. I love growing organically as well. Although we try different things, but all right. Let's hit our outro. Let's get up out of here. I'm sure I'm forgetting something like I always do. And it's all good. Hopefully we'll be blessed with another day tomorrow. We got the day off tomorrow, but not really because we're going to be running errands. I'm going to be running around downtown for a bit, downtown LA. And yeah, it's going to be doing something pretty cool. So I'll keep y'all posted. And once all that falls together, then we'll bring you along. We'll do a little live and we'll show you what we got going on, and that'll be exciting. So anyway, y'all have a great night. Let me find my outro, and we're gonna dip. Bless up, y'all. Here we go. We gotta hit play too.